from McDonald's and I crashed.
No
So now,
brakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I don't want to get an e-bike. I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Not until I get full gear, and I'm able to do it. But I don't want to ride up that hill anymore. You know. So I kind of
No.
want that e-bike. You got. What can I ask? What's with the big headlight?
Yeah, that's a police car. I bought it down from Concord, New Hampshire. Police department.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, it runs good. Everybody thinks I'm a cop, but I ain't no cop no more than you are.
Yeah. Do you ever turn it on to mess with people, or is that illegal?
No, everything works, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Christ, I'm 84 years old. You know.
Yeah. You don't sound it. You're not Kermit at all.
No.
Howdy. Hanging out.
Hello there. Hi, Daisy. How
Hey.
you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Pretty good.
Just came to say hi.
Oh,
See how-
hi.
see-
How's it going?
Yeah.
You wanna make something
Maybe.
or grab something?
I'm not hungry, but if you're offering a soda, I'll take a soda.
Absolutely. Go right ahead. You got it.
What are you guys up to?
Setting up an auction. Another auction. See anything you want for food? Help yourself.
I know I should probably cook these eggs because they're gonna go bad.
Eggs go. Actually, it takes a long time for eggs to go bad. To be honest, you know you can tell if an egg is bad.
How?
A cup of water. Put your egg. If it floats, it's bad. If
Okay.
it sinks, it's good.
This diet root
That's
beer.
how you know.
I love a Diet Coke. If you put the egg in the water and it floats.
Yeah.
How's it?
Nice nifty old stuff. I like the old stuff. Isn't that cool?
That's really cool, actually.
Like old.
They,
old.
they made everything better back then.
They did.
Like even that's really nice.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
The artwork is incredible. It's a real talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat book. It's old. Oldie. Yeah. Let's get your soda good. Gonna get cold pretty soon.
Yeah.
Start looking for some warm clothes. Winter jacket,
Yeah. Where was that?
unless you're going
Yeah.
south.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to get a passport, get a sailboat, travel. That'd be nice. I got people in Florida that are willing to teach me
Yeah.
if they can get one. They said down in Florida there's free ones everywhere.
Are you sure they're decent people? Watch out, there's traffickers out there everywhere, human traffickers.
Yeah, I don't think he's a human trafficker. I think
They're nice people, you know?
yeah, he said
Okay.
he had a son that had schizophrenia.
Oh,
So
okay.
he sees me and,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
So, have you been, any medication, have you been to a doctor or anything for that, to treat it, or?
the craziest experience I've ever had, like the thing that I would consider like that's my craziest moment. I sat down with just a regular person from an Indian reservation, and they're like, "That's just 12 years old for us. We have the experiences. We're raised to have those experiences. You're not crazy."
Well,
that
I'm
really
not
had-
saying you
yeah.
are, I'm saying if you've had to deal with any of those,
Um,
you know,
I had,
it's still good to
yeah.
always.
I had a suicide attempt when I was 19, and then they put me on lithium for a couple months, and I didn't like that at all.
Yeah,
when I
probably
was-
made you feel a little different.
It felt like it had disintegrated me completely, and I've been floating since. Like I don't know how to describe it better than that. But my mom was like a hypochondriac for me. I was an only child, and she lived way out in the sticks.
Uh-huh.
So she would
Yeah.
put me on antidepressants and
Oh.
change them every couple months.
Oh.
So that wasn't
Wow.
great for my development. But
Yeah, no, not really.
Yeah. So
Not
other than
at all.
that,
Oh my gosh.
I've just been alone for a long time.
Yeah.
Where it's seeming kind of off. 'Cause
Do you just want to be alone, or do you want to be around people
Um,
sometimes?
It's multi-layered because I have so many like amazing, rare experiences in the way that I live life right now. Like I see some stuff that's really cool. I
Yep.
go through stuff that's different that nobody else does, and I
Right.
feel like it's giving me a different perspective.
I
When
like
go,
that.
When I go in public, it feels like it traps me.
Oh, yeah.
Like working a job feels like it's like I'm almost unable to find
Mm-hmm.
this. Like I'll be thinking about something, and I feel like I'm sort of connected to something greater than myself. And I'm like really processing, like I have this big problem and I'm trying to figure out the problem. And then suddenly I'll feel like something's playing a string in the back of my mind. And then um, my phone will go off and it's a notification for a video. And the guy is like explaining exactly what I'm going through. And it's a video from like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there talking like he's talking directly to me.
Could be God.
And no, I know it. I know it's
Yeah.
God. Like I was freaking out the other night, because I kept seeing glowing eyes in the woods, and I'm like, I know that that's real. I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna go crazy and like
Yeah.
freak out. But I'm like, I see that.
Animals or?
No, like floating, just
Oh.
like something that
Okay.
could go invisible and was just showing itself. The indigenous called them the moon-eyed people.
Okay.
That's just they're around. I don't know what they are, but I told you like I get shooting stars sometimes on command.
Yep.
Like I'll just ask and then get like 3 or 4. But the thing was is that thing kept saying the word Jacob to me,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't know what that was. But I was like fighting off this imaginary thing in my head for a long time. Like, what is this? Why do I keep feeling like why is my life so hard?
Mm-hmm.
And
Jacob,
then
in the Bible.
Jacob was the guy that had this immense problem.
Read it the other day.
Right?
I read that the
So-
other day. I have a Bible for you I want to give you. It's a
Okay.
little different because I'll give you a regular Bible too. I got to remember to bring, next time you at the store, remind me. They're free. There's all kinds of Bibles there. There's one I actually ordered it. I've been reading it, and instead of it being the whole Bible, it's stories from the Bible.
Okay.
And sort of paraphrased.
Mhm.
So it's the gist of the story. But it's a great reminder for me of all of the different people in the stories and the things they went through.
Mhm.
And I just read about Jacob. Who else did I read about after Jacob? Jacob was the one that worked for Laban for 7 years for his wife, and then he deceived him and he gave him the wrong wife. He married the sister, who was the homely one,
Mhm.
and he really was in love with Rebecca. Then he made him work 20 more years to get Rebecca, and then they had, let's see, Jacob had, I forget who. I'm losing track of my names.
That's all
And
good.
then after that story, I read a couple more on. I've read it in sequence of the stories, and it's a great reminder. I don't know if you've ever read the Bible. You ever read the whole thing?
I used to leave it in the cabin where it was safe, and then I'd leave and let the wind blow it to a page,
Mhm.
and then I'd read the page, and that because I was like, if I have to believe in God, I have
Sometimes
to believe.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
If I'm
sometimes
gonna
that's good.
believe in such a powerful creative force,
Right.
I have to believe that He can do cool stuff like
You
that.
can totally, but you have to discern if that was God or if that was
I have
Satan.
a question.
'Cause
So
sometimes it's one or the other, and you can feel it usually.
yeah, I think last night I fell asleep at 2 in the morning, woke up at like 3:30, and my autoplay on my phone was playing How to Discern God's Voice from Others.
Oh,
So-
good.
So that's what I woke up to.
Yeah.
But the past, like when I sleep in the cabin at night, if I get to like if I work, if I'm like doing stuff all day and I can get to bed at like 8 or 9, at like 2 in the morning I'm always woken up by things,
Mhm.
and it will wake me up violently, like I'm just suddenly awake,
Mhm.
and I don't know how to describe it other than it feels like my imagination, instead of it being like a really vivid dream, it's like focused, like there's something outside the cabin that's communicating with me and I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
And then in that it seems like a bubble or like a tube maybe of this like dense something, and I can feel pressure, and then in that dense I can see the image of things.
Yeah.
So before I saw, have you seen the movie Hereditary?
No.
It's a movie, it's by Ari Aster, it's a horror movie, but basically it's about a family whose grandmother was in a satanic cult, and the cult had been following the family their whole life, and then they set up this sacrifice ritual to put one of the kings of hell in the son, because the daughter couldn't handle it and the daughter died. She wasn't a good host, so they moved it and they killed the whole family sacrifice. Whatever, I'm not worried about it, but before I saw that movie, there's a scene where they have this effigy to that satanic king, and all the cultists are naked around it. The kid that the demon possessed is in the middle. And I would, before I saw the movie, just floating outside when I would wake up in the night, I would see that scene like they were standing there.
Wow.
and that scared the crap out of me a
Yeah,
lot.
understandably.
So I was like, I don't know what this is.
What's
What are
that?
these naked people? And it turns out it's a satanic cult.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes me worried.
Have you ever been exposed to any occult stuff?
I've been kidnapped.
You have?
I've been kidnapped.
When? How long ago?
2021. I went down to West Virginia to get a car, and then the pastor took me, and I lived with the Pentecostal church, and then through the pastor, who was a kind of a creep and pretty bad for all of us, bad influence, kind of using everybody, dark magic stuff, whatever.
Yep.
He, riding in the car with him, we met another stranger, and then he felt drawn to talk to that stranger. That stranger once invited me over to hang out with them, and then they locked me in the thing. They had drugged me. They drugged the food, and then they did a whole voodoo ritual where they tried to take me and sacrifice me and give me to their cousin because I was gifted by God and he wanted it. And then they tried to convince me I was a dog, and they had drugged me with a bunch of stuff.
Wow.
So that was hard to get over because
Yeah.
a lot of trauma with like feeling like I'm not allowed to exist anymore because someone else had taken it.
Before that, no.
Before that, the government would show up and take me from my parents. But
Did you have the same difficulty before that incident when you were kidnapped? Was it as bad? Did it get worse afterwards?
psychologically, or things happening outside?
Both.
Things happening outside. My mom would randomly meet people, and I always had one friend at a time. My dad lived with the wealthy elites, the DuPont family, and he would go on their yachts. They believe in Freemasonry.
Okay.
Freemasonry is like the 33rd degrees,
Yep.
and they have, you know, how certain letters are assigned values, and that's
Right.
how they manifest from whatever. And the highest levels
Little
is
familiar with it.
it's some evil stuff, but
It is.
I don't think it's a coincidence that my name is Casey, which is the most powerful name in Freemasonry. It means the immortal tree of life. I think we're gonna see. So that guy's got a big C you see on his hoodie,
Yep.
and then we have 3 here, and I'm trying to explain that C is the 3rd letter. Stuff like that.
So,
But I'm a 33 life path, which is the most powerful. They say that when you're born in their system, you go 1 to 9, and then 11, 22, 33. That's why they had 9/11, and then they had Charlie Kirk die right on the 11th. So they set up stuff like that. So being born on December 11th, being born on December 11th, plus I'm a 33 life path with the name Casey, and my last name is O'Brien, which comes from the Irish
right,
royalty.
Very Irish name, Casey O'Brien.
Yeah, but my dad to just be like a ski bum, but be surrounded by these wealthy people, and the places that my parents grew up that they told me at least is exactly 11 miles from each other.
And is your dad still in your life or not?
Something, I mean, my dad seemed like a pretty normal guy. One day on my first sleepover with him, police showed up and pulled him over, lied, said that he didn't use his blinker and he did.
Okay.
Then they reached in the car and grabbed the keys. Cop had the hand on the gun already, so it was already like back road at like 11 o'clock at night. The cop is doing something illegal like that.
Yeah.
My dad floors it in reverse, trying to get somewhere with cameras, because he was like, that guy's going to shoot me in front of my kid. Who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
Suddenly 6 other cops emerged from the darkness right there. They were waiting for my dad, and they rip him out, and my dad, he did pretty good against 6 cops.
What were they after him for?
I don't know. I know my dad moved there when he was 17. He left for 10 years. He started ski instructing like 10 years before that, for that instant.
Yeah.
But he had been going there his whole life. I know he wasn't local, and we had a lot of property.
I think the best thing you could do for your life is, I don't know what your relationship, I know you have a relationship with God, but I don't know if you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. He's the Savior. He's the one who can tell you the discernment that's, you'll discern good and evil when you have Him. But if you don't have Him, it's like you're on your own trying to figure this whole big puzzle out. You need Him in your life. You do. He'll do so much more than you can imagine. When I asked the Lord into my life, when I asked Jesus to be Lord and Savior, Lord means I'm submitted to Him.
Mm-hmm.
When I did that, everything that, a lot of the stuff you're describing, actually, I went through a lot of sort of similar stuff, not to the same degree, after I became a Christian because of Satan trying to mess me up big time.
That's
And so I found that when I finally um, figured out how much I needed him and I let him in, he helped me to know, like for example, he delivered me from smoking. I used to smoke cigarettes up, even as a Christian, up until I was like 29, 30 years old. And one night, Lord told me, I don't know how to tell you how he told me. I just knew what he was saying.
Mhm.
He told me, sit up. And I sat up. And he said, take the covers off, expose yourself to light. So I was in my jammies. I was sitting on my bed. Husband, do not pray. That was my first marriage. Laying next to me, sound asleep. He never stirred. He never woke up. And God said, because I had prayed and I had said, if you would help me to be able to sing, this was strange, but
Mhm.
I said, if you didn't help me be able to sing, I'll quit smoking. I don't think you should make deals with God. I think we're supposed to submit to him. But I knew what I was supposed to do because I was learning how to play guitar at the time. Well, I wound up, that night was God answering me. And what he did was he said, take the covers off, sit up. And he said, and this is what he said to me. I'm going to set you free from smoking. I don't ever want you to touch a cigarette again. And I knew it was like, yes, sir. I just sort of knew my Father God was talking to me. And you know what? All of a sudden, I'm sitting there by myself with him, my husband next to me, and I went like this. And I just slumped over, and all this breath went out of me.
Mhm.
And I wasn't expecting that at all. And it was like God was pulling whatever demonic thing stronghold that I had in my life for cigarettes. He pulled it out of me instantly. I never touched a cigarette again because I feared God. And it says in the Bible, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. So when we fear God enough to obey him is what it means. It doesn't mean like that kind of fear. It's more like, yes, sir. You
And that,
told me to do something,
yeah,
I'm going to do it. So
yeah.
God delivered me. And you know what? I've never touched one since. And even if someone, even if I see a pack of cigarettes around or whatever, I'm not touching them because I want to obey God in that. And I want to maintain what he said. It's not a fear of doing something so much as it's an obedience to him. So that's the kind of stuff when you have the Lord Jesus in your life. He shows you that stuff. And when you have those experiences where you see things, in the woods or highs or whatever, and it's something demonic. When you know the
There,
Lord,
I don't.
let me finish.
Yeah,
Let me just finish
I
this
got you.
sentence.
I got you.
When you know the Lord, you'll be able to say, "In the name of Jesus, who I'm submitted to, I bind you." And the Bible talks about binding and loosing. And I had a vision once when I was in a prayer group and we were praying, and I said, "I bind you in the name of Jesus." And what I saw was the person we were praying for, and this like demon next to the person, and this massive rope wrapped around the demon, and it went, and he was bound.
Yeah.
That's what binding the enemy is. So I bind you in the name of Jesus. We use Jesus' name because it's the name above all names, the most powerful name in all of existence. When you stand before God someday at the end of your life and you see who Jesus is, you will be in utter shock at the glory and the power of who he is. And more than that, of the love that he has for you, the compassion. He wants you to come to him. And so if you give your life to him, those types of things you can discern. It's called the discerning of spirits. It's a gift in the Bible where you can discern, this is Satan, this is God. So you'll learn the difference. There's it talks about 9 gifts. It talks about the gift of healing, gift of faith, gift of discerning of spirits, the gift of all these different gifts. I won't go through them all right now, but that particular gift is likely. So if you haven't got him in your life yet, right? When you bring him into your life, things that are a negative, God will turn them around as a positive. So Paul in the Bible used to walk around persecuting Christians. He was the chief, he was killing Christians, right? Then that's where the expression of getting knocked off your high horse comes from. Paul was on a big horse riding to Damascus, and then something knocked him off the horse and said to him, Paul, Paul, why are you persecuting me? And he said, who are you, Lord? He realized it was God because he was blinded, by the way. And he said, "I'm Jesus, who you're persecuting." So all these things are evidence of who Jesus is. But
Yeah.
Paul, after that incident, became the greatest living, I think one of the greatest living examples in all of history, aside from Jesus. So he took his negatives and he turned them into strengths. That's what he wants to do for you.
Mhm.
So if you see the kind of things you see, it's a good possibility you're going to wind up with the gift of discerning of spirits. And I have that gift. I see them.
Yeah.
But I don't see them constantly all the time. But I feel them. I'm aware of them. I could walk from, sometimes I'll be driving from, a long drive, like from one state to the other, and you leave one state, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, there's something really different about this from where I was. That's a discerning of a
The whole
spirit.
ecosystem is grown differently, and they're playing a different song. That's
Exactly.
why I love traveling.
And the there's different principalities and territorial spirits. So
Yeah.
this one in Vermont is very different from the one in New Hampshire. One time when I was in Woodstock,
Hmm.
I was driving. Oh no, I was on my bike with my son, and we were driving along, riding along on our bikes, and we were on this long, long, long road, and all of a sudden I got to this corner that's where it goes either Barnard, Pomfret, or Woodstock. There was this three area corner, and all of God gave me a vision, and I saw this massive spirit who looked like a caveman with a big club.
Hmm.
It was at least 13 feet tall, probably closer to 20 feet tall.
Hmm.
And I just saw it standing there just like this at that intersection. And God showed me this is a principality. He rules, he is, assigned to this area. So there's a whole world that is unseen to us
Hmm.
that is very important for us to be close to God and close to Jesus in the way that he wants us to be, so that we know what we're doing and we know how to navigate through this life. But God will take you if you let him. He will set you free. He will deliver you from anything that is demonic going on here in your life, and he's going to give you a new life
Hmm.
if you want it. But there's one condition, and that is you have to surrender to him. You have to say, all right, Lord, you win. I'm going to trust you. I'm going to start to read your word. I'm going to hang out with people who understand you. And so, like, be careful who you hang out with. If you do hang out with people, like if you go to Florida, or if you go to
Hmm.
these places, make sure they're good people.
That's I mean, that's been I can't put anybody in my shoes. I'd probably have to write a book or make like a short film just to describe what a day in my life is like.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people that my life is just a reoccurring cycle of the same like the same names, people that have the same names, and they're pretty close to the same. Like, let's say if there was a checklist of like, so today I met a guy named Nate who's now the manager of the barn, and Nate is now helping me because the old manager Katie had lied about me, threatening to kill her with a hatchet to send the police after me last year.
Wow.
And I walked in and got a water. She said, "Are you going to pay for that?" I said, "Would you like to pay for anything?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can you name one thing you'd like to pay?" She's like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah, you're being prejudiced because of the way that I look. You don't know me. I wish you the best." I had tried
Mm-hmm.
to work there. And then I left, and on the way to the park and ride, the cops showed up with their guns drawn and tried to search me illegally because she said that I whipped a hatchet out and said I was going to kill her. And then, so later,
Did
confusion.
you have a hatchet?
I had a
Oh,
hatchet,
okay.
didn't whip it out or
Mm-hmm.
anything, but people had held me at gunpoint at the park and ride. People had
Oh.
robbed me. I had gotten in the fight at the laundromat where I had the guy came at me with a baton, and the only
Mm-hmm.
way I got him was by throwing him over my shoulder and getting him with a hatchet. And when I say that
So when
they,
you got him with a hatchet, you actually got him?
I switched it to the
Oh,
dull
you hit
side
him.
just to scare him
Okay.
because
Well, that's good.
even though I'm younger, I think that I've been through enough that
Yeah.
in some ways I'm a lot wiser than the kids that grew up here just because I've seen so much. So I knew I didn't get him, but just because of that, I think maybe he was like her nephew or something.
Oh, okay.
Ryan, his name's Ryan Brady. He's a heroin dealer. I don't do
Oh,
any drugs,
great.
but yeah. But the thing is, so I talked to Nate today, and then my lawyer suddenly I had to go to court because of that situation where she said I took a charger from her, and I remember buying the charger.
Okay.
So, but the court doesn't care.
Oh, yeah.
They're still trying to. It's been 2 years now, and they're still trying to mess with
Over
me.
a charger?
Yeah, and they treat me like shit. They call me names. When I try to speak, they interrupt me and they like get aggressive about it, like
Yeah.
really trying to dominate me. They like make a spectacle out of it.
Okay.
And my lawyer kind of joins in. They're all kind of. I'm just like the laughing stock when I
Is
go
your
in.
lawyer joining it with them?
Yeah,
They shouldn't be your lawyer.
that's what I'm saying. But the judge won't file the motion to have him replaced.
Damn.
So that's where I'm at. So
Hey, you need a flashlight? Look, I got a whole mess of these.
I think
I
I
don't-
could
I don't
always
know
use a
what
flashlight.
I don't know what kind of batteries. Here, take a couple. If you want a couple, you can have one, you can have more than one. They got like a gazillion of them.
I'd rather you sell them. I think people might buy them.
I'll keep these if you need them. Let me know.
I'll take
It's
one.
these.
I'll take one to review it. Tell you how it is.
Oh yeah, let me have it, but I don't know what kind of battery it takes.
Oh, but
Oh.
the point with the story is, my lawyer had filed that I had to be in person today for the status hearing, which has never been the case because it's all the way up in Chelsea. So he would not answer my messages at all. I've been trying to get a hold of him for a month. I found out today he had put it for in person. If you don't make your court, they immediately send the police. And I don't know. I think I told you the last time that I missed court, they ripped me out of the tent, cut my head open, emptied a can of mace in my whole face, tried to break my arm with a painful wrist lock, then made a joke about pouring grape soda in my eyes on accident. And then after they searched my tent for drugs and didn't find any, then they poured water in my eyes, and I had to drown myself, like getting it in my throat to breathe because they had emptied it in my whole face. And then they dragged me out of the woods. On the way to the ambulance, one cop is lifting me up to put me in. The other cop, with the painful wrist lock, yanks at my arm in like a desperate trying to break my wrist situation. I went, fuck you. And then I had all the garbage in there because it was cold. I was sick too.
Yeah.
I was smoking. So I spit, but I didn't spit at him. I said, fuck you. And then spit on the ground. He was like, there's my chance. He had the body cam pointed away. So he heard the spit. So he's like, thank God. So he tackled me into the ambulance and choked me for like 10 seconds. Then they poured water on the guy to make it look like I spit. Then they're trying to charge me like $500 for it.
Oh boy.
They've deleted the body cam because I guess there was damning evidence in the body cam, so they deleted their body cam. And then they tried for like 4 or 5 months to like discredit me, try to set up scenarios where they could arrest me again, follow me through town. And that was because my lawyer said it to in person and didn't tell me, so then I missed court because I couldn't get there. So he did that today. So I had to call Casey next door at Capstone. Casey was like, I just talked to 5 people named Casey like yesterday, and now you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And then Casey's brother is Nate. My friend, Casey's a Cancer, born in June. My last friend, Nate, was a Cancer, born in June. His birthday, or one of their birthdays, is the day that Nate started working at the barn. So that's just a connection between all of them, Nate and Cancer, for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are things like, have you seen the movie Beau is Afraid?
I don't watch it all.
Yeah. I mean, there are movies like Beau is Afraid. I worked at the Celtic Fest, the 33rd annual. I'm the 33 Life Path. I played my song Hawaii for them at the Celtic Fest.
Yep.
Then I go down to my tent here and I open the movie app. I go look at Beau is Afraid because I felt like God was telling me to watch it. I kept seeing it over and over again, so I watched Beau is Afraid. The first scene of the movie, he goes into room 303. He goes into a fridge and he pulls out ''Aloha, a frozen meal that says best of Hawaii and Ireland. And he's eating that. And his name is Beau Waterman.
Okay.
And he's a Taurus. Beau is like the sign of Sagittarius. Waterman is the sign of Aquarius, the water bear. I'm a Sagittarius, Aquarius, Taurus. The whole movie is about a guy who grew up an only child, alone, to a wealthy family like I did. But the mom who had red hair but said she was Jewish, was extremely controlling and conditioned him to be afraid to exist. And then the whole joke is that she's a billionaire that owns everything. She's like a secret society. And the whole thing was a test to see, even though they gave him horrific circumstances and they made his life hell, if in that he could find a way to be who he really is and like take control and take charge and be set free. but they give him like alone the worst conditioning. And in the movie, there's scenes like even in let's say, so Bo in that movie, Bo gets in a car accident. He tries to escape the Truman Show, and somebody hits him with a car. So then he's transported out of his Section 8 apartment and taken to a place, and in that place is someone named Roger, Nate, Tony, and Grace. When I was 19, I got in a car accident, and the family that took me in was Nate, Tony, Roger, and Grace. Like literally same names. And it's Bo Waterman, the Taurus, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Taurus. My mom has red hair and says she's Jewish, and she was extremely controlling in the same way that I was able to recognize through that movie the problems that I had grown up and that solved like a ton of them.
That's cool.
But the whole premise of the movie is that nothing's real, and that it's all a stage and none of it's real. So when I do things like I go about my day, and then I'll get a message on Messenger, and it's somebody I'm born in the year of the cat, 1999 in Chinese astrology, whatever, it's the Earth cat, whatever.
So all this is part of the Sagittarius and all the year of the cat and all that. The only thing is that's pretty anti-biblical. So God and
There's
His word.
13, there's 12 apostles in Jesus.
Right. No, I don't mean the numbers. There's a lot of meaning in numbers for sure. No doubt about it. But biblical numbers have biblical meanings. I mean, numbers have biblical meanings, but astrology is considered a cult in the Bible. And so you're looking to things that are, if it's against what God says in the Word, and you wouldn't have known that, of course, because you haven't necessarily seen that in the Word.
I think that
then you may want to shift into going His route, which is maybe look into the meaning of numbers, but don't read too much into stuff too, on the other hand, because it's like sometimes you can flip your Bible open and you find a verse and you're like, oh my gosh, wow, that means that, or whatever. And sometimes it's not God saying that to you, like you're supposed to be somewhere else in the Bible, and then you get all freaked out because that part of it, you know what I mean? So you have to find the balance in, like, to me, the most important thing is get in the Word and get to know what God says about things. Astrology, witchcraft, Satanism, paganism, worshiping anything other than God is considered don't. And God's pretty explicit about it, and He doesn't say it to hurt us because you can't have any fun.
Yeah.
He says it to protect us. It's like a father would say to his kid.
I know what you're talking about with false idols and diverting your attention away from God. Yeah. What I think the way that I see it is, as far as the constellations, I don't really feel like I'm ever sitting alone at night and suddenly the Roman god Sagittarius or whatever that comes from that healer, whatever, Chiron. I don't feel like that guy's talking to me or anything. But what I do see is that, like, my life is structured around, if you were to look at my life in a timeline, you would see that there's a theme in my behavior that I tend to, the way that I approach life and the way that I do things naturally, normally, the thing that comes natural to me, that seems to fall in line with the same theme, the same kind of code as, say, like, I mean, in my story, my life story, if you were to take just me and my brother John Michael, who was not my full brother, but he was like a foster situation with a foster family. So he was like, the day that I met him for the first time, we were both wearing an Ireland shirt, and it was the exact same Ireland shirt with Murphy's Law on the back. His dad's last name was Murphy, but he's McManus. McManus comes from Magnus. O'Brien comes from Brian Baru. Magnus was Brian's grandson. So it's this, even though it might not be the same family tree because of like 1,000 years of cross contamination of the island's bloodlines or whatever. And I think that was his mother's maiden name. It wasn't, or like by marriage, it wasn't his. He wasn't part of that family, but he had the name. But that name ties to that bigger thing. He was a Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius. Every time we hung out, before we knew about astrology, the way that we spoke was always this higher level philosophy, working on the way we would make art, and then we would go on adventures, where we would literally get up and we would go. And if I were to look at the best moments of our life, it was something to do with traveling, where we're in the car together or we're going on a walk together. It was never just sitting in the house.
Right.
But when I look at my friends that are Leos, the best memories with them that I have, where it feels like their best self and the best work of art from God, is where they're sitting and they're stagnant like the sun. I'll tell you, every single gas station, because every town I go to, I wind up at the gas station talking to people, and I'm always talking to a Leo that's at the front counter. They always tend to go there, even my cousin who's a Leo and my dad. It just seems like they have a pattern to that.
Everybody's here now.
Yeah. I don't think that, I was saying, I think that there's like a theme or a system to his creation. I don't think that it's taking you away, or I don't think you should divert yourself into a different belief. I think that God in the Bible is just the simplest form of everything, and then everything else is like added details that aren't necessary to the simple stuff.
Yep. Do you know Cato?
No, but
He's just coming in.
he looks like somebody I know.
So he teaches Kung Fu,
Okay.
and he has a free class. Is that anything you would be interested in? Probably. He'd be a good mentor. He's a good mentor.
So before I got here, there was a guy named Harvey, who was a Navajo. He was an East LA.
He's in India.
Yeah, he was an East LA gangbanger, but he was from. He said he was the last of the Mohicans. He moved from the. He got on Social Security, moved down to the Navajo res. Spent 10 years after leaving the gang member stuff, to traveling with his pit bulls. I found him in Williston, and right when I approached him to say, "Hey, what's up, man?" because he was sitting on the ground with his dogs. He looks identical to that guy, but Mexican with tattoos. Completely identical to that guy.
He's Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's a Native American.
Yeah, who, your friend that
Yeah.
you're talking about? Okay, he's Native American
Yeah.
too. Both parents, I think.
I know the way he looked at me immediately was like, okay, that's not real. That's not real. That's completely God just did
Well, I
that.
want to make sure introduce you to him,
Yeah.
because he'd be a good. Hey, Kato. He'd be a good person for you to get to know. Isolation, by the way, you gotta be careful of that. Don't isolate too much. You gotta have people around you.
What's up, man?
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Have you met Casey?
I have.
Casey O'Brien.
Have we?
You
Oh,
me
you have?
before when he came down to the store a while back.
Oh, okay. You might have met.
Yeah.
briefly.
Yeah.
Probably at one
good.
point.
Okay.
I had
So
my
it's-
hair pulled back.
Telling him about your kung fu class.
Yep,
And
you'd
he's-
love it.
It's free. But where
That'd
is
be cool.
it now?
So you know where you go up to 66 towards the highway.
Yeah.
There's that big yellow church on the left,
Oh, across
across the
from
street
the
from the
Catholic
Catholic church.
Place
Yeah.
where you hurt your
We
arm.
take over the basement every Wednesday night. So 5 o'clock is an all ages class,
Okay.
and sometimes it's a kids class, sometimes it's an old man's class. I mean,
Mhm.
but it's all ages, and a lot of the like single moms with their kids will come to that one, or like a whole family
Mhm.
will be able to work on train together. 6 o'clock is the weapons class,
Mhm.
which right now we're doing traditional stick fighting, and then 7 o'clock is kung fu self defense.
I'm literally there anyway, and I see your cars all the time, and I think about going in, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't.
Yeah, you should
Just
go.
walk in, and if you don't want to participate, just watch first couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very cool.
I was
pretty family oriented.
Are you?
He's shares a lot with me about his life experiences, and I was thinking what a good mentor you'd be for
Ah,
him.
I talk.
He could use. I think
God-
he could use a little guidance.
God has like a very specific thing he does with me that's like unavoidable, and it's always there and in your face. Like I can't escape it so much that it's like ingrained. Like I was telling her 3 years ago, I met a guy outside Williston named Harvey Tuttle, and he was, when I got there, my name's Casey, he was watching the Ninja Turtles. Right when Casey Jones introduces himself as Casey, I show up and say, hey, my name's Casey. People show up, put a gun in his face and said, if you don't leave town, we're going to kill you tonight. So I hide him in my car. They come back for him. I take him down to Brattleboro. And I'm like, maybe he's from California. He was East LA gangbanger. Traveled with SSRI money with his dogs, his pit bulls. I brought him down to Brattleboro. He's a drinker. His organs failed. Took him to the hospital. They wouldn't treat him because of the tattoos. They had the police scan him for weapons and they kicked us out. So I brought him back to Burlington. Then when he got treated and everything, we were sitting out there and then someone walked up to him and gave him a Carhartt jacket with a turtle shell on the back design. Harvey then says, I'm indigenous. I work with the Navajo. My last name's Tuttle because it means turtle. And I was like, we met with the Casey Jones and the Ninja Turtles. That's like a theme right there. But he said that he chooses his name in Talikeha because he didn't like his name Harvey Tuttle because it's Scandinavian. But you look it up and it means warrior of the god, warrior of the turtle god. So I was like, you're indigenous, just say it's for Turtle Island. So I let him off in Plattsburgh and I never saw him again. But then I leave and my car breaks down here at the park and ride. And every day to get away from the drama, I would walk down Harvey Road there and I would listen to, that's when I started listening to round dance music for the first time. Walking down Harvey Road. And I didn't realize that that's where I had first heard it. I just heard it for the first time and I was like, this is, the harmonies is what I'm always trying to make with my music. Like that, how it feels. And then when you walked in, you're completely identical to him. You just have a lighter skin tone. Like I swear to God, like your face and his face are completely identical and you're the same height. So I literally thought that you were him when you walked in and looked at me. And you're right there. So it's like stuff like that, like case.
I'm half Native American.
I never met my grandpa, but my mom says we're like Seneca Mohawk. I don't know. But I know that I have like,
So that'd be yeah. Seneca Mohawk?
They said like northern New York, Canada, in that area.
Mohawk is from that area. The Seneca is down south though.
Okay.
So
I know that one day, the day after my mom told me about Seneca, I watched Dexter, and Dexter was at the Seneca reservation in New Blood, and then the bus driver gave me 30 packs of Seneca cigarettes. That's what I'm talking about, is like in a week, like the same 4 or 5 different things will happen at the same time with a certain theme. And I'm like, okay, I can't not talk about it. I can't not think about that. Like, let's say, I don't know if I have my wallet, but I found a polar bear stuffed animal, found out that in Ireland, polar bears came from Ireland, and they mean something with the Inuit. And then I walk down the street, and then I go to tie my shoe. If I have my wallet, I'll show you. I found a Canadian coin with the polar bear.
yeah, I like to see it.
Stuff like that happens all day. Like, even if I don't want it to, it's like Casey at Capstone called me today and said, I just talked to 6 different Caseys, and I thought of you, and I'm holding a gift that she had given me.
Oh, cool. I know Casey. They all know me over there, too.
Yeah. So I'll shut up about it, but that's what we were talking about.
That's pretty wild.
I'd love to at least try it out.
Just come in sometime. So we'll be there tonight. But yeah, every Wednesday night.
What? I'll come tonight, 6 o'clock.
So 6 o'clock is weapons class.
Okay.
I get there around 4:45. 5 o'clock is the all ages class. 6 is weapons class. We do, like I said, right now we're doing traditional stick fighting, and then 7 o'clock is kung fu. You're welcome to come hang out, stay as long as you want.
You guys don't need food or anything.
What's that?
I said I don't have a fridge, so I've got a bunch of food here I don't need.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, we're good.
Cool.
So, I'm still waiting to
Cool.
hear back from the electrician. I called him the day after you were here. And he was heading out for...
Like, what is there to talk about?
They say stuff the button up and then it'll be over to the electric.
I invite you to get off my dick. I'm not really hungry. Oh, we'll see. That's not mine.
Yeah, this guy came up pretty good too. And the guy came up from Florida for the auction. It was about, he's about 20 minutes from the Richard Petty Museum down there. And he does flea markets, and he came up and bought about $1,000 worth of stuff. And back. So it drew some people. Friday afternoon of the auction, I had pictures all on the sidewalk, all the way up through, you know. And I started at 3 in the afternoon. Yeah. Yeah, well, it wasn't like it was a great turnout for Richard Petty, because I did good, like, with the online bidders, getting some of them in, but none of my regulars came. So it was like 20, maybe 20 people, 25 people who bought all the stuff. It's not done, it's online, but it's like what everybody said. It's like, oh, it's just call Richard Petty, you know? It was like some other.
I gotta catch the bus.
Everything goes for, what everybody was telling me. Hey, all the die casts really went for like $5 a piece. Oh yeah. But it's like, I guess it's just where the market is now. They said NASCAR killed it, and they changed the point system. And then when Earnhardt died,
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're like putting them up.
well, and they are because, well, they said they're so crooked that the limited edition, when it's like 1 out of 500, they'll print like frickin' 500 of one. You know what I mean? And of two, so everybody has like number one.
Yeah.
And then wire it correctly.
Yeah.
What I
Oh,
would,
no, they're
oh, really? What I would like to know.
Everything changed
No,
when
I was
Earnhardt
gonna, don't tell them.
got killed there.
That's what everybody was saying too. That was a big turner. When Earnhardt died.
Well, that was a lot of it, but it's just the way the racing is. It's
Yeah.
just like Bristol, a week ago.
figured,
My car spin,
I'm-
you go
I'm
down
like,
pit
I'm
road,
looking at
so
it.
there's nothing on the track, there's no vehicles on the track, nothing. And I counted once, they went 15 laps in the car. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. They don't even still have people up there with remote control these cars, because
It's supposed to.
there's no such thing as driving.
And everybody was saying that the entertainment value is gone. When you go to a race, there used to be all kinds of stuff set up.
Oh, yeah.
And one guy was talking, he went to a NASCAR race, and there was like only 3 people that were set up, doing stuff. And he said back in the day, he
Well, you
said
know what
everybody.
happened, about 6 years ago, NASCAR said, we're taking over all the souvenirs.
So unusual.
No more souvenirs trailers, just NASCAR.
Right.
Well, they took it over and they lost their shirt. So now, like with Penske, he's got,
Okay.
21 now, so it's a Penske car. So you got 4 Penske cars all in one haul. Well, it used to be each hauler with one car.
Might
Yeah.
have been easy to use very fun. We had these hotels in
Like, I'll go there, this year we're on 53rd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are
I
pretty
Wow.
neat,
started
and
in
there's some other good stuff
1972.
in here.
Yeah, this is a few stuff
2001 was the
underneath,
only year that I met.
I remember
That's when I had my visit.
Yeah.
Tell Gene that the best.
It was fun back then, you know, Petty,
Spotlights.
Yarrow and all those guys stood at the holiday.
Right.
They'd all be down at the bar every night,
Music
you
stuff.
know, and maybe not really drinking, they might be sipping a beer, or they might have a couple of sodas or something. But they'd be down at the bar mixing with people.
Right.
If you want one of these young kids to come into a bar to socialize, you gotta give them 10 grand.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, they won't even sign an autograph unless you guarantee them 10 grand. Yeah. Just to sign an autograph.
And the younger generation.
They're a bunch of rich kids.
I did Smitty's estate sale when he moved down with his son, who's whatever, he's on TV all the time. But his son is like a jerk.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, he's like not a nice guy at all.
He's there because of his color.
Yeah, it's true.
The only reason
Hate to
he's
say
there.
it, but he is a jerk. He is like, oh man, not a nice guy.
No.
Then they started their road course. NASCAR started that road course. That was
No, no need of it. No.
Right.
And now come back to bite him because this road course. Won all the road courses pretty much.
I gotta catch the bus. Do you
What's
guys?
that?
I said I gotta catch the bus. Head out. Do
Yeah,
you,
sounds good.
do you guys need help with anything while I'm here?
Anything, Ray?
I think I'm good
All right.
today.
Thank
Yeah, I'm just heading up, clean the cabin.
Oh, all right. Hey, good seeing you, Del.
See you, Del.
Yeah.
All right. I just had with me.
But
Yeah. I don't have a pen on me.
I got your number.
Okay.
Oh, you have it, Rick?
I do.
Come around.
Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure I do.
I'm thinking about moving.
Yeah, I got it 505-8466.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking about because I'm probably gonna have to get the stuff off the cabin at some point. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking about getting this. There's a storage place just up the road.
Huh.
If I end up, I don't know how much. I haven't talked to the guy or how much it costs or what. But if I end up there, I don't mind coming in and before it gets cold. You guys were really trying to get that tool section cleaned and organized. I wouldn't mind just going out back with a couple picnic tables, spreading it all out, sorting it, making it easier. I put a system there.
Yeah.
I tried to do it, but we didn't have time. And you wouldn't have to pay me for that.
I could maybe tomorrow sometime I could use some help breaking down some cardboard boxes.
Sure. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm doing anything. I just want to make sure I rented the Revenant for 2 days, so I'm trying to watch it before
Nice.
it expires.
Yeah.
That's my only plan for the
Do
next.
it. Do it.
Yeah. So, you think like worst case scenario if they're trying to get me off the property, do you know anyone that has like a truck I could throw it on in a couple trips, take it and drop it somewhere?
Your stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can probably figure it out.
I don't know what to do with it. It's just I have 2 of those pull up and dip bars, and those are expensive, and I got good deals on them. That's the main issue. It's just that, and then the rest are like mementos, like pictures.
Yeah. We can figure it out.
I have coolers. Okay. Other than that, what time tomorrow?
I'm not sure.
All right. So you got my number.
I do.
Okay. I'm going to his kung fu thing tonight.
What's that?
I'm going to the kung fu thing tonight.
Nice.
I'm
You'll
gonna,
like it.
I'm gonna learn some
Yeah,
martial
probably
arts.
in the afternoon
Sorry,
sometime.
man. Okay. Let me know, man.
All right, Casey. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. They're not real. None of this is real. What is real is this cavity forming in my tooth that hurts a lot. My inhibitions are gone. I had to do it the hard way. And you were right all along. I was addicted to heartache. I was addicted to love and lies that I was told. I'd rather die alone than be stuck in the dark days. I was addicted to heartache. I had to do it the hard way. Waking up worthless. Should have worked up the courage to kill myself. How could I deserve this? The Mona Lisa sits upon my shelf. Do I want to do kung fu? I mean, obviously that guy showed up, but I think she was talking about the devil. And then the guy that looks identical, like he's literally just the guy from my past, reskinned. Like they hired the same actor. And then he mentions a time that I forgot. where the universe had put us together. And that's true about the round dance music in Harvey Road. Because the first time I ever heard round dance music in my life was when Harvey was fucking dying in my passenger seat, shitting on himself because his organs had given out. He wanted to go out to round dance music. And I really think that we stopped in Randolph on the way because I had to take the back roads from White River. I think we literally stopped outside Harvey Road, and I remember driving my car and seeing Harvey Road with Harvey and telling him about it. Come to find out, 2 years later, I would be living there. And then the guy identical to Harvey is now here teaching me Kung Fu. He looks like if Harvey and I had combined because of my long hair and his face and the difference of skin tones. I need like $35 to pay the fucking barn for that charger that I know I didn't steal, but it is what it is. And I need $45 for phone service for the month. So I'm trying to, I think if I volunteer here, there's more community service hours because they're technically registered as a church. So that will help the court. And then through them, the more positive interactions we have, they said they don't mind using their truck to haul my stuff if I need it in an emergency situation. And they know everybody here. So I didn't mention, but they're in the back of this building. Ray lives there. Or they don't live there, but that's where their thing is. Their church and auction house. And then right there is the food bank with the big crow on it. The food bank with the big crow. And then in between Ray and the food bank with the big crow is Capstone, and that's where Casey works. So just like Kai Sinat here, and then Ray there, Casey 3 and Ray in their photo, just like John Michael, whose dad's name was Ray, and me, Casey, and then we were fighting over a girl named Ray, and I ended up, he never ended up getting with Ray. She moved away, and I ended up getting with a different girl named Ray. John Michael and I took a photo the same way. I'm standing on this side and he's on that side, and now the next year goes by and we have Casey and Ray right there. And then we have Alex with the big 11 and the demon spray painted right there. And when I got here, I was upset that my friend Alex had started to become very dark and selfish. And he started getting into occult stuff. But when I ended up volunteering at the Celtic Fest at that building right there, I found the girl who had spray painted that. Name is Alex. But her original name was Alyssa. And the last Alex that I had ever dealt with was my ex-girlfriend Chloe had left when I broke up with her. She rebounded with a guy named Alex because her friend Alyssa told her to. And his last name was Kendall. And if you go to that was the 33rd annual Celtic Music Fest. I'm a 33 Life Path. If you go to 33rd North Main Street up here, there's Ken's barbershop. And the guy that got me into this Celtic Fest up here, his name is Eric, and I told him about how these names keep following me and I can't escape it, and it's driving me crazy. And he said, I'd have to be one of those names, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure we'll figure something out. And then the next day, someone named Eric, his name is Eric, someone else named Eric on the day of started volunteering too. She was like, that's a coincidence. And then he put a name badge on, and his last name is Eric Dickerson. And I was like, my mom's last name is Dickerson. He was like, that's crazy. But my original name was McDaniel. And I was like, I think my grandpa's name might have been Dave. So that track, or Dan, that might track. But then there's my sister's name's Danielle. My sister's mother's name, her last name is Daniels. And I was like, there's a coincidence there somewhere. And then I watched Beau is Afraid after playing my song Hawaii to everybody there at the fest. Then I went and I watched Beau is Afraid with the Hawaiian Irish food, and he's at 33 and his name's Beau Waterman, Sagittarius, Aquarius, that whole spiel. And then I look at my phone today, and guess what? Some woman whose last name is McDaniel has messaged me on Facebook and said, hey, I found your Facebook a couple days, or your YouTube a couple days ago, and I've been going through it pretty bad, and your videos, watching them feels like we're just hanging out. So she said thank you. And she said she wants to talk to me about what it's like living in Hawaii. And then I found the shirt with Hawaii. If I go back through my life, I'm always wearing Hawaiian shirts. I always have Hawaiian shirts around. Then I found at Ray's place, I found a picture framed of words that say Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. And just constantly over and over again stuff like that, and there's tons of it, like the polar bears, the raccoons, Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy, John, Michael, Alex, Vincent, Nate, Gary, Loki, Leo, over and over and over again. And then the dragon or duck or quacks, stuff like that, or the initials KC or CK, and the 33 symbolism, like call me Carson. Just over and over and over and over again everywhere. The show Loki with Casey and OB and Loki. My ex-girlfriend Garrett, who brother's name is Leo, his best friend was Vincent. When I met them, they were playing A Way Out, which is a game where you play as Leo and Vincent and have to escape from jail together. And then she had a Siberian husky named Loki. Call Me Carson, the YouTuber, is a Taurus, and his like right-hand man is named Loki, but he goes by Code Husky, just like Garrett had Loki, the husky dog. And Call Me Carson is CK, and I think he's in 11 as well. And then Call Me Carson CMC 33. Just over and over again, everywhere. It's like I watch a movie and there's, like, even when I watched Weapons, I saw the show Weapons, or the movie Weapons, because I kept seeing the image in my head, and God was like, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. So I watch it. It's about a witch who has a kid named Alex, and Alex, she possesses Alex's parents, and Alex has to go to school. And I think his name is Alex Connor, which is huge. Alex Connor has to go in and take items from all the kids so that they can put spell witchcraft on them, and the witch harvests them. And if you look at the movie, sitting right next to Alex's cubby is Casey's cubby. And that's the only person I was speaking to at that time, was the Alex that put this spray paint over here. And Eric over at the thing, his wife's name, Eric Dickerson, his wife's name is Kendra. And then we have Alex Kendall, Ken's, the mountain lion. Catamount, this place, Catamount Christian Academy just opened up right there. This is the year of the mountain lion, I said. Catamount Solar approached me at the cabin this year because they were looking to buy it. So we have Catamount Solar, Catamount here, the mountain lion, the other mountain lion. My brother died, who was blonde, got stuffed. All this mountain lion symbolism. And last year was the bear. And the year before that was the cat. or the rabbit in some cases. In Beau is Afraid, they kept calling him Carrot. Why does that matter? Because I was drawn to Beau is Afraid, and I'm born in the year of the rabbit. Something else weird. There's the only other other instances I would talk about is that there are these reality breaking moments, like somebody when I first got here talked about the bike. That weird little bike. But what I'm talking about is that I have instances where sort of the show that I'm living inside breaks, and there's a character that doesn't make sense to the way that the movie is going. And that character that breaks the whole thing, there's usually a reason for it. And it makes me feel like that's either God, Jesus, or an angel, or a developer, or something outside of the normal. When I used to hike up when I got that car in 2023, because I performed on stage for hundreds of people, and a schizophrenic man named Patrick Ibbotson gave me his car after I saved him from crackheads named Sean and Jessica. After I freed Patrick from the clutches of Sean and Jessica, he gave me a car so I could go see my dad, Gary, who's a Leo, or Jesus, my cousin Jesse, who's a Leo, or Jesus, and then John Michael, who's a Sagittarius. So because I helped Jessica and Sean, which is Irish for John, I was able to see the Leos or Jessies and John Michael until my car broke down and I had to get another guy named Patrick to help me push it out. But I would go to Mount Mansfield and I would wake up in the morning, I would hike up the mountain, and then I would go to McDonald's at night, have to deal with Ron Audette and the horrible people at Morrisville that would attack me, literally try to run me off the road, try to slam their police car into mine while I'm sitting in a parking lot. And then I'd hike up in the morning, and there was this guy. Every time I hiked up Mount Mansfield, I would be completely alone. No one would bother me. But then on the second or third time going up at like 6 a.m., right when the sun was shining, and I was at the very top, so I was climbing up these rocks, this man who looked like me but taller and had full six-pack was ripped, and he had a backpack with just water on it, and he was walking like this, so kind of hopping a little bit to keep his heart rate up. He approached me up on the mountain and said his name was Rabbit. He's like, "I'm Rabbit." And I was like, "I guess if you're Rabbit, I'm Bear." And that was before I knew it. And I didn't know that next year would be the year of the bear, and the symbolism of King Arthur being bear, art meaning bear, the root, and all this journey with the hair growing and living in the den. But back then I was just like, I guess if you're Rabbit, then I'm Bear. And then I chased Rabbit up the mountain, but I couldn't because I smoked so many cigarettes, so I was slow and going like a bear, and he, like a rabbit, took off, literally hopping up the mountain. That's a true story. It's going to be in my Sundance story. But that was in the year of the rabbit, 2023. And Beau is Afraid also came out in the year of the rabbit, 2023. And they kept calling Beau Carrot because everybody was attacking Carrot, which was cool. That's just rabbit symbolism. And the whole movie's based around fertility and the sickness of his mother and him. His mom having a pseudo-sexual relationship with him, and my mom trying to initiate that by calling herself Norma Bates all the time, which was the mother who convinced her son to kill people and sleep with her. And she had red hair. Mona Wasserman has red hair. Wasserman is a Jewish name. My mom is a self-proclaimed Jew. Stuff like that. And then the whole instance I talked about with the names in Beau is Afraid are the exact same names in my life that treated me the exact same way that the people treated Beau. You can pick apart Beau is Afraid and pick apart my life and see the exact same thing. And you can do that in my life several times with other predominant stories in the collective consciousness right now. And that's all I have to say about it. I'm just waiting on my bus. So how about them apples? I guess Chloe, Cleo, and then she was involved with a guy named Vinny, and she would take me to his house, and she'd put her hair down, and she would make me sit in the passenger seat, and I was a vegetable, trapped in paranoia with a brain injury, on lithium for the first time in my life, messed up and couldn't speak, and she would leave me there like a dog. And then she cheated on me with a guy named Jaden, J and K, J. Cole, Kendrick, Jaden and Casey. And to combat with that feeling of emasculation from being cheated on when I was a vegetable, I sent it to Phoenix, Arizona. And Chloe blamed her cheating and her inability to be good in relationships because she was molested by someone named Steve and her brother Ethan. And then fast forward to 2023, that was in 2021 and 2023, my car gets stolen and I'm forced to go down into the basement of 33 King Street. So at the bottom of 33 King Street, it's a youth shelter, and immediately I'm met by Ethan, schemy, slimy, smelly Ethan, who's a Capricorn. And then he's roommates with Bob, or Robert, like Robert Baratheon, who's based off of Brian Boru, and Bobby Phillips was my ex-girlfriend Deanna's younger brother, my first love, and then he was always trying to sleep with Chloe because they were the same age. So we have that Robert everywhere, over and over again. And then right next door to Robert and Ethan was Phoenix and Jaden. No, Phoenix and I think it was Sam. Like Sam Kehoe and Casey's son, Sam. And Casey is building Good Sam House here. Good Samaritan. And just like when I was 13, Sam Kehoe and Alex Kehoe is that Alex I was talking about that I didn't like. He was going down the wrong road. Howdy. It's just over and over and over and over again. And Megan Kehoe, who was my first crush in life, she was a 33 life path too, born on March 3rd. Like Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, who was my mentor, and Ralph Smart, Ralph was Nate's dad, just like Nate and his brother Roger. That was Ralph's kids, and they were the family that took care of me, just like Ralph, Nate, Roger, Tony, Grace in Beau is Afraid. The Ralph symbolism in Beau is Afraid is that Beau is chased by Jeeves, who killed Nate, and Jeeves is personified as a wolf in the movie when they go to the play in the forest and they do the drugs and they transcend reality to blur the lines between the creation and the creator. Hello, bird flying right above my head. So that's how Ralph plays with Roger and Nate. And then we have Roger, Ralph, and Nate Winchester, who took care of me. The only thing we're missing from that story is Jensen. So I'd have to find a Jensen or a Fisk. But they pop up in other things. It's in every story. Really that I found. Like I rarely find things that don't have an obvious link together. Like they show up in pairs. What else? Oh yeah, Alex, Sam, and their friend Vincent back then. And then John, Owen. Those were the names of the family members of the Kehoes. And now we have, I could just keep going. like it's as they're as threaded together as the back of my hair. Right here, all that mess of the hairs intertwined together, clumped. That's like all these different stories that just keep reoccurring because it's part of this. They're the same DNA code as my hair. Like my hairs are all woven together differently, but they're all coming from my head. I don't know if that's a good analogy. I'm very tired. I was trying to tell her, and then she went off about surrendering to Jesus. I was trying to tell her that last night I woke up and there was, like, reality wasn't here. I woke up and the world, I seemed completely separated from the world, and I was locked into this telepathic communication with something. And I immediately saw, like, what looked to be red hair, very jaundiced, like, jaunt features, like, very, like, this woman that was extremely skinny with red hair, and she had, like, very exaggerated features that probably people 1,000 years ago had. So I think it was an ancestor or something. And it was just staring at me through the abyss, and I could tell it was conscious. Just like the night before. Well, I'm getting that that was a past life, and that it wasn't a woman, it was just a man with long hair. Long red hair. So maybe I was the Viking in the past life, or Irish or something. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but that was there. And then the night before, I saw the golden eagle. And then the night before that, I think I saw Ethan. There was somebody no, it was the CIA. I saw someone that worked for the CIA. Because I remember waking up and seeing his face, and then reality shifted, and then trying to connect to him telepathically, this huge bright light hit me, and then all of a sudden my phone started working again. My Wi-Fi had been cut off, and I couldn't think. And then I saw this guy who Spirit was telling me was CIA, and my Wi-Fi wasn't working. But then when I connected, I accidentally connected to that guy. I saw him look at me through the astral plane, and then he disappeared. I felt like I had been punched in the brain, and then my Wi-Fi started working again. And then I keep seeing the scene, I've been seeing the end scene of Hereditary since before I watched the movie Hereditary, where the boy is revealed to have been involved in a satanic cult, and they try to kick him out of his body. Hello, butterfly. It was going right to left, but then when I put the phone on it, it freaked out. But it's trying to talk to me. It was trying to fly around me, but the phone made it messed up. See, now it's going right to left again. But when I put the phone on it, it tweaked for a second and changed directions. Oh yeah, in Hereditary, he gets replaced by a king of hell, which is actually a giant demonic crow. In the movie Hereditary, by Ari Aster, 11 Ari Aster, and my cousin Ariana, who's Jesse's older sister, that Jesse and I both feel she went down the wrong road and became demonic, and she was spreading the bad energies, which ruined my aunt, and my mom was using them both to spread her malicious gang-stalking lies to take advantage of their Aquarian Aries energy to try to cast me out into a pit. So all three of them would just attack me over and over again, and they would infest Jesse, and then Jesse would realize they were infesting him, and he would text me saying, I don't know what's happening, but I hate what they're doing to you. But then I would talk to him a day later, and it was like he had been completely taken over, and he was just as malicious and wrong and retarded as they are. Because it was too much for him to bear. So he would lose himself, and then he would break, and he would message me frantic saying they're spiritually attacking him. And that really happened because of Ari. And Ari Aster made Beau is Afraid and Hereditary and Midsummer. And who are the characters? Tony, Danny, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Beau Waterman. And then they just had Joe Cross in Eddington, who is the only reason Joe Cross is alive is because a kid named Brian saved him. And I think Brian was trying to get with Sam or Alex in the movie. And then he calls his wife Rabbit, who leaves the old-timey sheriff. She leaves him for the YouTuber who speaks on spiritual warfare and sex trafficking, because he helps her feel seen by saying God is speaking through you in your art, where Joe is like, can't come to terms with the fact that Rabbit's father raped her. So we have Rabbit again, and we have Brian again, and we have Alex and Sam again. And then we have the scene of Eddington takes place with the, if you look at the movie poster with that sun in the background, that sun in the same exact way, the same lines are painted in the cabin that I'm living at, the same red sun. And that just happens over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And over again. And over and over and over and over. The only other thing I'm missing names, like George. George is a big reoccurring name in my life. Always. Other than George, Raven and crow symbolism. There's a crow cawing right when I said Raven, a crow started cawing. I don't know why the bus hasn't come. Other than Raven, George, Charlie. Charlie's been popping up a lot more. And now we have Charlotte and Charlie Kirk. The Charlotte Sabling and Charlie Kirk. But we've had a lot of Charlies. I think the root hay, like Hayes, Yod, which is the Irish god of fire, the Celtic god of fire, Yod. But that he goes by Hayes, the Irish surname. So names like Haley and Hayden. And then we have the root Day for Dagda, so David, Daniel. And then Loki, Cernunnos, horned god style, deer man. That comes up a lot, which is in Catholicism's Baal. And then I'm just seeing a bunch of, I was reminded to say that I had a friend that had another friend that had the CHA root. Noah is one of those names that in the Alex, Vincent, Casey, whatever, Noah is reoccurring. And then we have 11s and 3s, Casey, Kai Cenat, Kendrick Curry, Kirk Kaz, Cassius Culpepper, Kurt Cobain, Kelly Clarkson. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl in 2023. And then they went up against the Eagles. And then I think it was Cowboys versus the Chiefs this year. That's just a truck. So that just happens over and over and over again. What's happening, man? Good. Just waiting on the bus. Supposed to be here, but it didn't show up. Yeah. Oh yeah, we have Aaron and Dan. And Aaron means Ireland, but it also is the two A's, 11, AA, Ron. So 11 Ron, or Aaron, that means Ireland, and they're always associated with Daniel. Like when I was in DCF when I was 14 and taken to the shelter in Ludlow with all the people with the Irish last names. The two staff that I liked the most were Aaron and Dan, and they were good friends. And Aaron was brown hair with green eyes, and Dan had red hair. And then after I left that shelter, and I was in the retreat, waiting for the foster care system, to cope, I would watch Game Grumps. And Game Grumps is Dan Avedon and Aaron Hansen. And I'm pretty sure that Dan and Aaron in Ludlow were a Pisces and Aries, and Dan and Aaron in Game Grumps are a Pisces and Aries. And I mean, even down at that food shelf, the two people that helped me at the food shelf is Aaron and Dan. So we have that Dan and Aaron just in this cluster of Casey and Ray and Alex, Ken, Eric, and all that stuff. We could get into how if you don't take time to take control of your life, focus, and fight to be not really a conquistador or conquestor, but just to be free, then you become subject to the Antichrist, who will possess you and puppet you. Yo, bro. Yo. The thing possessing him knows, but he's out. He's really under control. That's why he's doing the tongue thing. You can see. That's one of the giveaways. Yo, bro. With the Beatles. Sorry to bother you. Your fly's down. I noticed. Didn't want to bother you. No worries. No, you're good. Dude, I wish more people told me. Sometimes, like, I won't notice all day, and I walk around with my guitar, and I'm like, I wonder how many fucking kids were driving and saw it. So, that's why. No problem, man. Are you waiting on the bus, too?
No. Wait, my grandma.
Ah, word. I wish they put schedules here. Yeah.
I know it's a stop for the elderly bus. I know it's not for the other bus.
That's a hard stop. Howdy. You call me Gary?
Gary?
No, Casey.
Casey.
But my dad's name is Gary.
Hello.
Making a prayer group tomorrow morning?
Where?
We had
Oh, yeah. I could. He wanted me to come in the afternoon to help him with stuff. But if I wake up, sure. You know, I used to be in a tent there, but I moved up to Randolph Center. So that's why, but it was nice. You know, it was cool.
in the morning, maybe.
8 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, okay. All right. I'm usually up anyway. It's reference experience. That's why I tell everybody they need to push themselves. Like they need to set like horrendous goals that seem impossible. And they need to throw themselves as hard as they can at it, because that's how you find your limiting beliefs. And once you find your limiting beliefs, you can raise above it, conquer them, and actually grow. And when you do that, you gain the level of consciousness that makes you a target, that scares people because they're afraid. It seems foreign to them, like an alien. And it makes it almost impossible to live an everyday life. Like, that's the test. If you can push yourself hard enough. This is one of my gang stalkers. You can see he's got his phone out recording me. There's just some guy that I've seen in like 5 or 6 different towns now. I've seen him in Montpelier, Morrisville, White River, and Burlington. And if you noticed, look at this, it's a straight line. There's no reason to be there. But he's just sitting there with his phone out recording me. When I'm talking about how to raise yourself to a point where you escape the matrix. Now I got up and moved. Let's see how he reacts. But thanks to the crows. Oh, my boss is here. Look at that. Perfect timing. Whoop. Howdy. Are you headed up? All right. Is there another time you're headed up? Or...
Yep, one more time.
All right, I'll be here. Howdy. 2:35. Are you doing your stop at the food shelf, or it's not open today?
I do the stop at the food shop, but I do not go up on the hill.
All right. I meant I would meet you there if you usually stop there, but at 2:30 be here to go up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only go to the food shop once on Wednesday, and that's at 3:30.
Okay.
So that's my end of the day.
Yep, that's after.
Yeah.
I noticed that you're there sometimes. I was like, maybe it would make you it easier if you weren't coming back, but I got you.
Yeah.
I'll be here. 2:30. And then at like, he said like 3:45, so I get back, watch The Revenant, get back, and then go down to the guy, and let's see what happens down there, man. We're gonna do some kung fu with a bunch of smelly people, but I'm also very smelly, so that's fine. I mean, I took a shower yesterday. I took a shower yesterday, but I know I smell, man. And I have an injury, so I won't be able to fight anybody unless we do one-handed stick fighting. Like, I can't do a push, feeling like this shit's gonna give out. It really hurts. But I bet there are people in there that know about breath work and energy use. And those people, I guarantee you there will be somebody there that can lead me down a better road. But I'm just trying to find a way to make $100 because I need 45 for service. I need 30 for the barn to pay off whatever, just to get it out the way. I'm like, fuck it, who cares? And then I need the rest to get my social security card. And then I can get a job. So that's mainly what I'm worried about. And then probably if they kick me off the property, I'm gonna have to get a storage unit for 45. And then I can toss my stuff in the storage unit for a month and not have to worry about it. Sleep in the woods behind it or something and figure that out. Because I don't need a U-Haul. That was what I was trying to save for. I don't have any. I have $0. But I was going to try to get a U-Haul. Because there's a U-Haul 10 miles away. So I was going to get a U-Haul just to take. It's only like a mile and a half down the road. No, it's 4 miles through town to the storage unit place. But with Ray's help, because I'm going to help him tomorrow, and in exchange, he might be able to take my stuff and bring it to the storage unit. So if my arm's good enough, maybe I'll talk to him tomorrow, or he'll know somebody. That might need help as like a carpenter's apprentice or something. He might know a guy that's a carpenter that needs help carrying things around and handing him stuff, and he might be able to pay me for that. So all hope isn't lost. It's just I'll need a computer. I'll need a computer. Who the fuck is Joji Lothbrock? Who is this man? Who are you, Joji Lothbrock? Joji Lothbrock. Joji Lothbrock. I'm getting sweepy weepy. I'm getting real sweepy weepy, man. And it was after the gang stalker man. After the gang stalker man showed up and they trapped me in a triangle of the guy, the reptile man, and the gang stalker man. Now I feel lifeless and attacked. Where before, usually I can, as long as there's nobody siphoning my energy away through satanic ritual, I can usually just not shut up and go for like 9 or 10 hours. I've done it on the channel where I can just keep going like this for hours. Eat pant, super stand, poopy pant, read the Quran, Michelin man, come out ye black and tans, your daughter is trans, problems with glands, give a man gout, run and take the crown, itsy bitsy spider climbing up the spout, monkey gave me reach around, freed my puppies from the pound. I'll see you guys around.